What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. More art from the archives. So let's get into it. And this is going to be it for now. This is going to be the final part of the My Art Archives spin-off prequel. This is the second spin-off prequel that I've done. I've done many different directions. I promise you that I will do a part 2 of the regular art series, but for now, just enjoy the spin-offs, enjoy this video while it lasts. Starting off here with the holidays, even though that's not going to be for a long time from now. We have quite a few on this tree. So here we have stuff like Elf, Home Alone, Nightmare Before Christmas, although that's debatable for Nightmare Before Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, Home Alone, Polar Express, etc. And then, this is what I call the grand Saturday morning holiday side of things. Because you just have so much. Comment down below, what was your favorite show from any of the channels I'm mentioning here? As of currently me TV Tunes, but back in the day, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. Don't you remember any of those? Do you remember primetime syndication for any of these cartoons? Leave a comment down below. But as you can see here, this starts off with it's like a tree essentially for the holidays. It's kind of like a Christmas tree. So how I did it was that I started off with the Animaniacs and then just continued going up and up and up and up and up and up and up from there. So there you have it. Next up, we are getting out of the holiday spirit, and this time we are going to be entering the world of adult animated sitcoms. So you see The Simpsons, Rick and Morty, Bob's Burgers, South Park, Family Guy, Futurama, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, BoJack Horseman. Just a lot of crude humor shows. So there you have it. Yeah. Does anyone remember the summer of 2022? This was the time where before any movie barely made any profit. We had just had so many good films. A few of these were bad, I'm not gonna lie, but there were a couple of good ones here. We had Rise of Gru, which was the continuation of Illumination having a redemption for themselves for the first time ever. You had Nope, a good Jordan Peele movie. You had Top Gun Maverick, a great one, and Jurassic World Dominion. Clearly conclude the franchise off real strong, and then you had Elvis. So there you had it. You just had a couple of good movies. There were a few that barely anybody liked, but I enjoyed, like Lightyear, Thor: Love and Thunder, and then I didn't watch it, but Doctor Strange. Anybody remember that? I don't think so. Yep, I did this in 2022, in honor of 40 years of E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Comment down below, like I said before, do any of you remember any of these shows or movies? Because for me, I personally loved this film. The iconic bicycle moment. I immediately fell in love with this movie once that moment has shown. It was really nostalgic to see this in theaters, especially since I saw this on a streaming service before there was Peacock or anything like that. I saw this on a streaming service, and I was just one day like, what is this? And so I watched it, and it was just spectacular since day one. So there's some childhood nostalgia. Speaking of childhood nostalgia, here we go. Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network is not dead. I'm gonna do a separate video, but Cartoon Network is not dead, everyone. It's struggling. That's what it is. It's struggling because all the streaming services, everything. It's just a complex time to be a Cartoon Network lover, because all of this is barely rerunnable on the channel. In fact, I feel like a lot of these cartoons are just airing on Adult Swim now. And then you have all of these, which not all of them are airing, you know? Some of these are just not airing anywhere else. And so, yeah, it's just a hard time to be a Cartoon Network fan at the moment. But I mean, that could change in the future. We're not entirely too sure, but hey, there's still some form of hope that, you know, maybe Cartoon Network learns from MeTV Toons. And so, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna shove the next two together. Okay. So this was kind of like, just me being bored one day. I really wanted to do something cartoon slash what a cartoon related. So I decided to get some of these art ideas where I drew the original designs for the characters that we know and love today. And you could tell that there was a huge difference between when these shorts aired on Cartoon Network and compared to their final products. For example, the Powerpuff Girls themselves, they're very different because I feel like they're way more slimmer. Their eyes are a tiny bit more apart, in my opinion, and they've just changed. Same thing could be said for Dexter. Now, here's the thing about Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. As time moved on, Genndy Tartakovsky, aka the creator of the show, and Samurai Jack, and the director behind Hotel Transylvania 1 and 2, he basically just he went from this to eventually something a tiny bit more, square shaped instead of it being like a rectangle, because it's like a rectangle and then you put an olive on top. That's literally what Dexter looks like when he was first appeared in What a Cartoon. Johnny Bravo, not too many changes apart from the fact that he's a little more buff than this, and he's just a little bit more bigger than how I drew him. Dee Dee hasn't changed at all. A tiny bit of the head has, a tiny bit of her head has, and then we got Cow and Chicken. Cow, I think, has the most changed. As you could see here, Cow, she doesn't have that tiny, ponytail thing. And then, basically this, I don't feel like this is Cow at all, because the huge jaw and everything. And then Chicken, it's very smaller, in my opinion. Way smaller than I remembered he was. And then here is just 30 years of Cartoon Network. Yeah, 30 years of Cartoon Network put onto here. Yeah. It's insane to think that they pumped out this many great classic shows throughout their 30-year lifespan. The one thing I'll say is that they should really put this back on regular Cartoon Network, nothing Adult Swim or nothing, because a lot of people miss these shows, and so I think it'd be a great opportunity instead of putting it on like Adult Swim's checkered past block. They move all of this, well, half of this, since some of them they can't really be shown. But I mean, half of these could actually come back to be seen. We've seen a growth in Cartoon Network for their reruns of older series, so I mean, there you have it. Speaking of which, yeah, this is just meant for them to be like their branding back in 2022 all the way up until 2023. I mean, 2020 all the way up until 2022. Yeah, this is their branding. You can see all the characters, they're all colorful, pink. You have your pink, your blues, and your yellows, and just what the branding was back then. So you have it. All right, second to final one, and then I'll show you the biggest one ever. Yeah, more Cartoon Network 30th anniversary stuff, and then the final one, at least before the final huge massive one. Yeah, I decided to do this. You could see that like every character is doing some sort of thing on here. You know, you have like a big 30, all of them forming a big 30, and then it says Cartoon Network 30 years, or if you want to call it Cartoon Network 30th anniversary, you can. But yeah, this is what it is. And then finally, the technically final thing you've all been waiting for. This. Anyone remember those Nickelodeon mugs? That was this, because that was this inspiration here. So you could see you have Ed and Eddie, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, Regular Show, Kids Next Door, Billy and Mandy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Adventure Time, Craig of the Creek, mixing it up with classic and modern shows, Courage the Cowardly Dog, We Baby Bears, and then finally Johnny Bravo, just to show you this like almost 30 plus year production of what Cartoon Network brought us back then. Comment down below. I'm saying this because this will bring you a lot of nostalgia towards what I draw. So comment down below. Do you see anything on here that makes you remind yourself of something? And let's go to the final one, everyone. Hang on. There. Let's go to the final one, everyone. Alright. Here it is, everyone. Before I reveal it, it's crazy to think I've done a lot of drawings for quite some time. In the future I plan on becoming an artist, and so once I stopped, well, I took a bit of a break. From not only YouTube but art. I've said it before. I've said before that I had anxiety for a couple of days up until yesterday. It's kept on bouncing back and back and back and back, but luckily that has stopped. I have a future, and yeah. So, is everyone ready? 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep. All of them. All the shows. Whether you liked them or hate them. Or a mix of both. Or if you thought they were all weird. Quite a lot. So how this started? It started off back when Cartoon Network was about to turn 30, and so I decided to make this in honor of that. Cartoon Network is not dead, everyone. Stop worrying that Cartoon Network is dead. Cartoon Network is not dead. It just needs support. It's in a dire state. It doesn't have as much grand animation as it had back then. So I'm supporting Cartoon Network all the way. I'm obviously a Cartoon Network kid. I used to be a Nickelodeon kid as well, but I'm more of a Cartoon Network guy myself now. So as you can see here, you have all the classics from this point, but as you move slowly but steadily farther, you have a lot more of the